I guess I am more known for using biological substances and embedding them inside my sculptures or infusing them with my sculptures. But the desire really is to de-emphasize the kind of anthropomorphic center of these substances that are often so tied to identity. The desire is to actually propose that working with these substances are actually not that different than working with plaster in my studio or blowing glass or carving fiberglass. Interior landscape or interior trauma is an experience that you can't necessarily describe with language, but an interiority that you can only feel. The word sites of wounding, actually I stole it from an instruction manual that describes how to harvest agarwood incense out of these trees. It describes these sites of when they either drill a hole in the tree or carve out a tree or chop the tree. They call it the site of wounding. It's essentially a continuation of a project that I've started since 2020, where the focus of the project is on organisms that are native to Hong Kong. Agarwood also has a relation to the naming of Hong Kong, Hanggang, which came from Fragrant Harbor, a port that used to trade incense since the Song Dynasty. It also echoes to what's the identity of Hong Kong. Essentially, to have agarwood, the tree has to endure some sort of injury, and then the tree has an immune response. Like without the injury, the tree is actually quite porous. That exhibits traits of ability to regenerate in sites of wounding, where sites of when they're injured. It's a narrative that I'm trying to unpack that touches upon not just this idea of belonging, but also this idea of using these non-human bodies as raw materials to inform some sort of trauma within our human bodies that's accrued culturally or socially. This was in the Tokyo National Museum, and I found all these journals studying the interiority of these Kamakura Buddhas. What appears to be one thing, the interior has an entirely different experience. So I spent a lot of time there experiencing these sculptures. In order to harvest it or actually make clear what the shape of the wound is, you have to actually carve out the body. So that led me into doing CT scans of my body and printing my body, my interior body, and making these sculptures that's about interior landscape. 其實呢個係我做咗 CT scan 入面我個右腿嘅肌肉嘅橫切面，咁切咗6個 cross section， 咁呢個係其中一部分，咁連同嗰個掛喺牆身嘅作品都係另一個部分。This time, what I really want is to interrogate the wall as an object also, and the wall as a material, the gallery as a material to work with. So 3 works are actually embedded within the gallery walls. There's slits in the walls that you can peer into. I mean, art and sciences are essentially just ways of questioning. They're not opposing in my world. I think ultimately what drew me into studying glass earlier when I was a student is I'm deeply fascinated by how things are made, what things are made out of, and how do I make that? And pushing these questions, not just applying to objects, but also applying to my body and my identity. Like, how is femininity formed? How is masculinity made? How is melanin made? If I keep pushing and pushing, like, what kind of absurdist question can I end up with? And same as art, I think they all arrive at just more questions.